Pet Supplies and Country Store. Today is Wednesday, and on Wednesdays, we have our coffee with Krystle. And today, in my delicious coffee, I have Grounds and Hounds Caramel Swirl with just a pinch of creamer and honey, because today we are getting healthy. We have special guest Cameron, and we are at the Model A Fitness Athletic Club right now in Delta, PA. So this year, happy 2023. It is going to be such an amazing year this year, and we wanted to get our friends started off right with some very basic, easy stretches that are perfect for your well-being, your health, getting your morning jump started so that you are happy, healthy, and can start your day with a bang. We also have Mika somewhere on here, so she might be doing a little downward dog.
She's trying to dig a hole to China.
She is not trying to dig a hole in Cameron's thing. She is not. All right, friends, so Cameron, tell us, what are we going to do?
I'm going to give you just some simple stretches. Think of like a good morning routine. A couple quick things that I want to point out is why stretching is important. We are in a world of technology. We look down all the time, and we have to remember that our head actually sits up on an axis, and we're constantly in this tilt, which then changes the way the vertebrae, shoulders fall forward. And the big thing that people don't realize is that your right shoulder is actually connected to your left hip. Okay? So there's fascia fibers that stretch across, and if we're constantly in this forward, downward gaze, this all gets tighter and shorter, which makes it harder for good posture. So again, thinking stretching out when we get up in the morning, kind of waking up. First things first, try to stay off your technology for about 30 minutes. Again, this is a brain game type thing, and mindset is my big thing this year. You have to remember that that blue screen does something to our hormone levels, it does something to our brain chemicals and everything in there, which then starts to trigger the stress and everything. And when stress triggers, our body reacts to that stress. So I'm going to give you a couple things. I have what's called bolsters, but you could use pillows. You could do this right in bed. Hard surfaces for some of them are definitely going to be better. You're gonna see that I have blocks, I have tennis balls, and I have what we call straps. I'm just gonna show you, let me warn you, I'm Gumby, okay? I can stretch like no tomorrow, but I've been doing this for 20 years, okay? So remember, I'm gonna give some modification in the poses. I'm gonna tell you to move. I'm gonna show you how to use some tools. So we have what's called a bolster. Use a pillow. We're gonna do what's called the child's pose, but I'm gonna put it in a cliffhanger. So toes are gonna touch, knees are gonna be wide open, and you're gonna settle your hips back. Your hands are gonna grip the top of a bolster or a pillow, and you're just gonna kind of start moving your hips around, okay? Don't be stiff, just move back and forth. And as you exhale, just think about lowering the body down, okay? So now if you're an advanced client, you don't need this. You'll be able to kind of come right into that position.
Cameron, I'm gonna go advanced, girl. I'm gonna go advanced.
What you're thinking about is length through the armpits, settling the hips down, really trying to get some movement. What's nice is you can come up onto your forearms and you can add some rotation to this, okay? Just nice back and forth, opening the arms up. So if your hip lifts, don't try to shove, don't try to push, but gently try to breathe into the stretches. All right, again, if you need a little rest, you can. The arms can also come behind in this stretch, relaxing the shoulders forward and kind of rounding the back, tucking the hip under. All right. If you have back problems, you're going to use your hands to help you up. If not, if you've got that strong core, you can proceed to pull yourself up through your positions. Again, bolstering, same thing. You'd think about anchoring that arm to do some opening positions, stretching back, letting that head fall between, finding some breath. So the breath is really important, inhaling and exhaling, finding that deep breath in, low into the belly, exhales are heavy. Another great stretch that people tend to struggle at, touching their toes. You know, what happens is everyone kind of goes into this rounded shoulder. So I prefer to sit down. You could use a towel, or we have what's called a strap. You can place the strap around your feet. The towel, you can wrap it. And I don't want you to think of bending forward. I want you to think of pulling forward. So I want you to pull your chest, put your chin out, and feel that length in the back. Again, we're not looking for rounded shoulders. We're looking to push the chest out.
That feels nice.
Okay, so then if you're getting a little more advanced, you can pull a little more. So again, some won't need the strap. They can walk themselves down from the rib cage and place the hands behind or over the toes. Going even further advanced is placing a block back there. So blocks can be used for advanced or beginner poses, all right? If this stretch still bothers you, you're gonna wanna bend your knees. You can even place the block under your hips. So you'll sit here in an elevation, okay? Slightly bent knees. The key is that you pull the chest and get that flat back and then start to move your legs out away from you, all right? So again, finding what works for you is the best thing possible. We have some people that have feet issues. Your dog is so cute. She just finds the right spot.
It's dog yoga.
Dog yoga. A lot of people have problems with their feet. They get up in the morning and their feet are like pins and needles. This is a lot because your fascia fibers, you have to remember, they actually start at your toes and they come up through the leg, they come across the body, they make X's across the front of us, they make X's, they add extra saran wrap, think of saran wrap. And then you have to remember your fascia fibers come up over your chest, around your chin, and over your head. So from your toes to your nose, you are truly connected. So thinking about that, if we could soften the fibers, I use tennis balls for this technique. So you can go up and stand. Now again, everyone has preference on what we call pain, okay? Again, I'm not looking for it to be painful. So think about starting right under the big toe knuckle and just kind of wiggle it back and forth. Now, if you're someone that likes that deep tissue, you're gonna press pretty heavy and then you can push through the arch of your foot, back and forth. There's a hot or trigger spot right at the base of your heel where you turn and you can press into that. Now again, depending on how much you can take, I do this a lot, so I can really grind in there. I like deep tissue massage. Along the heel bone, not on the heel bone. So on the actual heel is where you might actually bruise it and then it would be sensitive. You're right at the edge where it turns into the arch. And then again, back and forth, and then you can go along the knuckles. You can pretend like you're going to try to pick the ball up, squeezing those toes down, flexing them out, squeeze and flex, and again, going through. You are just having a great time.
She's such a big helper.
She is. And no matter what you do to one side, you must do to the other side.
So for plantar fasciitis, this is amazing.
This is amazing. You can also do it if you don't have a tennis ball because your dog would eat them. You can do it with a frozen bottle of water, put it in the freezer, and use that. That cooling sometimes really relieves some pain if you're having it. Any kind of tube, so you could use like a PVC pipe, right size, rolling it back and forth, or you can go to Five Below and get a few different things. They have foot rollers and different things like that. So a lot of good ones. People sit at desks all day long and they just find that their hips get really tight, their back gets really tight. We can do some stretches. You can even do this one in the office. I'll show it to you from a chair. We call it quadruped, thinking all fours, okay? So your hands are right under your shoulder, your knee is right under your hip, and you're really solid. You're not tight together so that you're very narrow stance, nice and wide. And again, just think, you can shift your hips left and you can shift your hips right, and kind of just think about stretching those side of the hip. I never use big words because you're probably not going to know them. Side of the hip. All right, think about swinging back in a half circle, swing, and then bring it back. Then tuck it up. So now I'm going to come up and around, and then I'm going to do what's called cat. So think of a cat and how the cat arches its back up. I want you to push your hands down into the mat, and I want you to think about your shoulder blade rolling out to the side. So your chest sucks up, your head falls your back arches, your hip tilts under, and you're really arched up through. Then you're gonna swivel down to cow. So your chest rolls through, shoulders back, tailbone up, lift the chin, and then find neutral, which is soft center. So again, you can do this several times, pushing away to cat, push, cow, rolling those shoulders back, and then finding neutral. You can add to this stretch, extending the arm out, sweeping it over to the side, laying it behind. So again, getting this rotation into that shoulder blade and then bringing it back around, trying to think about keeping your core nice and strong. So again, nice and open, rolling. So you turn the hand so that you place it on top of the back of the hip. This is going to give a nice rotation in that shoulder. You can lift the elbow if you have that flexibility. You can drop the shoulder and then lift again, just feeling those stretches. Coming back down for a cat and cow, and back. Again, anytime that you need a rest, you're welcome to go back to a child's pose, finding that little kind of calm. And that child pose for you might be up on your forearms or up on a bolster, just feeling that stretch. So again, you have to find what works for your body. A lot of people have through the spine issues. So I'm going to show you a supine twist. You can lay down on your back. Oh, I wanted to show you that you could do that one from work. So imagine this to be the back of a chair. Can you see me there?
Yep.
Okay, so imagine this is like the back of the chair. So you would just be standing, soft knees, never lock them, and just think round up, swale down, round up. So again, if you just need that modification, but in the office, this would look funny down on all fours, you know? You find the modifications that find the stretch for you. We're gonna lay down on our back. Lay down,
These are so easy, by the way, and they feel so great.
So we're just gonna kind of lay our arms out to the side. How are you?
Hi,
Hi. And we're gonna lay our legs out. So a lot of people, when they lay down like this, they have a big arch under their back. And that means that they don't have that pelvic tilt going on. So you wanna think about bringing your hips to your rib cage, just a little bit. If you find that to be hard, you can place your feet in a soft bend, okay? So that that hip turns towards you. I'm getting kisses. Oh, you like my lotion. All right. All right, to do the stretch, we're gonna lay our legs out straight. We're going to take our left foot and we're just gonna hook it. Imagine hooking it up underneath your right knee and slowly let it go off to the side. Now, again, flexibility, everybody's gonna be different. As you notice, I can kind of roll all the way over. This is where a bolster would be good. I'm gonna do it to the other side. Let's switch sides. If you had problems and you felt that that was too much of a stretch, you could bolster and have something to lean over to. And then just sit there. You can look off to either side, turning the neck and finding some breath. Inhale, soft. Exhale. Feeling that stretch through the spine. And then coming back over. You can do this double leg. So both legs come up and then they twist over to the side. Now again, you have the ability to advance anything and modify anything. The legs would be a little straighter for a modification. Up closer to your rear end. You can even extend the top leg out and touch that toe over to the floor as long as your shoulder can stay down. You're going to feel this stretch up through the breast muscle and out through the armpit as well. And then to come back, just softly use your stomach muscles to bring your hips back to center. And then of course you go to the other side. So again, if taking the legs all the way to the ground is hard, place a pillow or a bolster underneath until you're starting to feel comfortable with that stretch. So again, bolsters can be used for many, many things. Good. And we're going to come up. One thing about coming up, you, especially if you're new to the practice, you don't want to sit up. You're going to want to roll over to your side and use your top arm to help you up out of your poses. Again, you've been laying back, so your head tends to be a little lightheaded and you need to take a breath or two. I'm going to show you another quick stretch, which is called the downward dog. Everyone hears about this one when they hear about yoga and things that are happening. The problem with the downward dog is everyone tries to push at it too much. It's a very simple, good exercise if you learn that it has to be modified. Hands are going to be out at the top of your mat, toes at the back, and you're lifting your heels. Now, an advanced client's going to really press through the hands, roll the shoulders out. So I'm actually not sinking my head down, I'm lifting through, and I'm going to push my legs straight down in and lift up and find that stretch. Now, if this is too much, and then I start bringing my head through, I can look under my armpits, but I'm not collapsing my shoulders. If this is too much, bend the knees. Still think about pressing the heels down, find your breath, and good movement right there. Come back. If sitting with your knees bent like this bothers you, again, this is great to use bolsters or pillows. You'll take them and you just kind of insert them so that you can sit on them for more comfort. A great upper body stretch, one that you can do at your desk. So you could do this just simply at a chair. You're going to come up into cactus. So think goalposts with your arms. Now think about everything. Webbing between your fingers, spread them out. Now think about your shoulders. I want you to push them together in the back. So you're kind of like pinching your shoulders. You're going to feel that stretch through the armpit. Now take your hands and tilt them to the rear just a little bit, and you'll feel that stretch over the shoulder. Make sure your neck stays soft and supple. Make sure your back doesn't come into an arch. So you're taking your hip bones and turning them towards your rib cage. Go ahead and stretch up, give me that good morning, and then heart center, bring it down into a prayer. You can do some nice gentle twists through your spine for this one. I always tell people that you're not actually turning your spine, you're using your arms. So take your right arm and place it outside your left knee. Your back hand is going to just gently reach back to the bolster of the foot or the mat. And what I want you to do is use this front arm to pull you through. Don't try to just turn the body. I want you to use this front arm to help slowly bring you through the movement. Lift the chin, and then slowly go to the other side. So again, you're just moving slow, placing that hand, resting the other one back, using that front hand to help assist you through the movement. Lifting the chin, and then coming down. Finding that breath. Deep breath in. Exhale soft and slow. So sometimes you just need a good morning routine. Just find a couple of stretches that feel really good for you. And then throughout the day, try to implement more stretching. The big key to life is that we have good posture. If you look around in society today, because of the technology, we have a lot of forward tilted, shoulders drawn in, backs are arched, and we also have a lot of yoga pant wearing people, meaning that we don't think about our core muscles. They are, remember, this is like a big block right here, okay? And these muscles are also these muscles. So we have to think about it. If we're constantly at relax, you can see my posture just goes down, my shoulders straight forward, my neck comes off its axis. And this is not very attractive, but we don't have mirrors around all day to see that, oh, I need to straighten up. A lot of times people will say, oh, my shoulders, my neck, all this bothers me. This is another great thing other than a massage. Just saying. Just to relieve tension. I use tennis balls for just about everything. You know, when you're tight and you feel like your back of your shoulder's tight. Well, yeah, that's tight, but maybe do a little massage right here. Maybe
because it all correlates. If your upper back is bothering you, your neck is bothering you, not only is your posture, but work out the muscles in the front as well, because it is pulling you in, and then that fascia that she was talking about in the beginning keeps you restricted.
So I use tennis balls to keep up between my massages. You have a nice, and I don't go with big words, I'm going layman. You got a strap right here from behind the ear and you can feel it. It's like a tube, all right? Massage it. too, Carl.
Well, and your traps, your lats, all that stuff is all back there. That's like the huge thing, and then superficial, and then you have smaller muscles underneath of each one.
All right. This one's a fun one. You probably will want to do it at your husband or your wife in the morning, but do big wide mouth yawn. So remember that there's tons of fascia and all this other stuff. So you want to go. So, I mean, isn't that a great look when they look at you first in the morning? And it actually, I went to a seminar years ago, and the guy walked into the room and he said, hey, how is everyone? And it was like, yeah, good morning, how are you? And so he leaves, and he comes back in. He's like, good morning, how are you? And we're like, yeah, we're good. We're hesitant, right? He leaves again, and he doesn't come back for like 5 minutes. Everyone's like, where is he? And we had to go look for him. And he says, well, that wasn't exciting. Like, who would want to come in for that, right? And he goes, let's try this again. So, like, the next one, we're like, hey, how are you? You know, and it made us feel better.
Yeah.
So he said, you know what you need to do in the morning? You need to wake up and give your alarm clock 2 thumbs up. Try it. I swear to God.
It's fun.
If it's hard for you to get up in the morning, just be like, how you doing? Do that one tomorrow morning. And then give your husband or wife the big wide mouth yawn. So, stretches, I always tell everybody, can you stretch wrong? Yes. If your body hurts while you're doing it, like true pain, stop, okay? But most stretching, I mean, just think about it. Just start moving your arm around. Go up against a wall and start to move your arm around back and forth. See where you're limited. See where it stops and be, oh, that's mobility. You know, just think about stretching open, stretching back, up, overhead. Find a good morning routine where you just kind of go through a little bit of something. We have to remember that we have to take care of this body. We're only given one. And a body in motion stays in motion. A body that sits still rusts. And I don't want to be a rusty old car. So I keep moving my body. All these stretches are easy stretches. They have modifications to them. Again, if you get into any of your yoga videos, and I'm just going to go into this really quick, and you know, they're like doing stuff and you're just like, there's no way I can touch the ground and put my arm up there. Well, that's why you use a block. All right, so if you're in that position and they've got their hand on the floor, well, maybe you've got your hand on a block, okay? And you're rotating up. Until then, you turn the block to the side this way, and then you turn the block this way until that you can get all the way down in the pose. So again, don't think of these as bad tools. These are awesome tools. The bolster, the pillows, the towel, you know, using it for a strap and things like that. The tennis ball is an awesome one. Again, self-massage for in between your massages. I'm a big proponent of a good massage and then keeping up all of that work. I'm going to show you one more for the shoulders because everybody has shoulder issues. I use the tennis ball. So you have to remember that your spine is straight, and then you have 2 C curvatures, which are your shoulder blades. I am looking to kind of work along that C curvature of the shoulder blade. So I'm gonna lay back on this ball, and I'm just gonna let it kind of be right between the spine and the shoulder blade bone, okay? And then I'm just gonna lay there for a second. Now, the more pressure I put on it, the harder it's going to feel, or the deeper the massage there. You can just move the arm. The arm needs to stay bent. You can move it around and kind of massage there. You can use the legs to push you back and forth to get a little bit of a massage. Advanced movement, heavy pressure, you lift your hips up and it puts all that pressure and then down, and then you can find the next spot and kind of rub through it. Again, one tip I have for you, if this hand goes up behind your head and does one of these where it just plops down, do not try to pick it up. You will use the other hand to help assist that through. It's too weak. It does not have muscle structure at that point when it's collapsed back. So again, you know, you can bring the arm across the body, open. You may feel this rush in your face, all the way to your feet. We have a lot of hot, or what we call trigger spots back there that you're working on. But again, getting this fascia. So fascia is nothing but a bunch of collagen fibers. And you're just getting some hydration back in there. Some movement, some blood flow. and everything's going good. Again, you would not sit up from this. You would kind of roll off to your side to lift up. You never roll along your spine. So this is not to go up and down your spine. There's a lot of rollers and things like that you can use for that. If you do one side, you should do the other. So we'll do it right before you leave. But so hopefully I gave you a bunch of little exercises or stretches that'll make you feel good. Hips tend to be a big one for people. Again, elevation is going to help you when you're doing any of your stretches, because again, I am someone that can get into some tiny little spaces and add some stretching to the hips, okay? But if this bothers you, you'd sit a block up under the hip. That little bit of elevation actually takes away from that super tightness, and you can get a nice deep stretch there.
And these blocks are easy to find.
Oh yeah, they're at Five Below.
Oh yeah.
These are simple. Straps are at Five Below. I think I even got these all from Five Below.
I mean, even an old belt.
Yeah, belt, a towel. A towel works. Roll up a towel. Pillows. You wouldn't want your super feathery, fluffy pillow. You'd want something that's got some sustenance to it. Maybe a pillow from the couch or something like that if you need that bolstering. The dog likes it.
The dog, I don't think they can see
she's
back there. She's on.
You probably pull her around. She probably wouldn't. Oh, don't jump off. You know, yoga mats are also at Five Below. You can use a towel, anything like that. You know, if you're someone that likes the mood, get some beautiful candles out. You can set up some lighting. If you were to come to one of my yoga classes, the lights go down, the heat's on, it's nice and warm in here. You know, you might want to choose first thing when you get up. Maybe you're a little too stiff. Maybe you want to do it right after your shower. So again, there isn't a right or wrong time to do any of the stretches. It's when you can fit them in, when you feel that it feels good for you. Yeah. And just get more movement. Again, I can't say it enough. If you sit still, you're gonna rust. And your body's not gonna want. And then when you ask it to move, you're gonna be like, this is so hard and I'm not getting any results and I've been doing this. We have to remember, it's just like anything. If you treated your body bad for 15 years, you can't expect it to be better in 1 month. It's going to take time to unwind all that you've been doing. And we have to remember, it's a lot more than just stretching. It's consistency. So if you stretch once a week, it's good. Yeah. But it needs to be kind of like a little routine thing. 5 minutes in the morning, you have it. You just aren't setting that time aside for yourself.
Any little bit helps.
Any little bit helps. And then if you want to join me for a yoga class, that
absolutely.
Would be a
Model
totally
A Fitness
story.
in Delta. So, you know, and I also wanted to point out that I did this in jeans on purpose, because you can do this at any time of the day when you're dressed however you are. You just need to set aside the time, because you are worth it. You deserve to feel better. And if you don't do it on a consistent basis, then I will see you in for a massage, because I'm also a licensed massage therapist, but then you're spending a fortune just trying to recover, when you could just be doing very simple things with a towel and a pillow, and that's not that expensive.
She even wore her beanie.
Well, Cameron, this was a blast. I so appreciate this.
Yes, my pleasure.
If you would like to get more training, please reach out, post underneath of here, and Cameron will definitely communicate with you and make sure that she helps you. Come down to Model A Fitness. She has not just yoga here, but a ton of other things that are great for not only your health, but your mental health as well. And that's what we're all about in 2023, is just rejuvenating ourselves and improving our lives. So, Cameron, thank you.
You're welcome. I do have a 21-day challenge starting. It will be starting this Sunday. It's only $10 to join, and you don't have to be a member of the club. You could be from another state. It doesn't matter to me. It's a 10,000 step challenge. It's just to get you started. I have a Facebook page where I will be communicating with you daily. I will give you 5 daily habits that you need to start implementing into your day for, again, that mindset. And then we're going to try to set up 3 big goals for you for the year and teach you how to break them down. Again, I tell everybody, I want you to set a big goal, but I want you to realize that your big goal is not going to be accomplished tomorrow. We have to work at those big goals. So
I dig it.
You dig it.
I dig it.
All right.
All right, guys, so if you need any more help, contact Cameron with Model A Fitness. We are here for you, and I got a jet because we got to go open up Mission Pet Supplies and Country Store at 1632 Main Street in Whiteford, or we will see you online at missionpetsupplies.com. We appreciate you. Have an awesome day, and we will see you next Wednesday.